For for those of you who thought for 22 years that LeBron James was the face of the NBA, I think a little fellow by the name of Wardell Stephen Curry would have something to say about that. And he's been saying it, unlike LeBron, with his play on the court. Nah. And
I already hear the Bronxexuals crying.
And Bronxexuals, what? How did we put it out? How did we put it yesterday? You got knocked the fuck out, bitch. Let's go.
Hubert.
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Because we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Good Lord, that freaking seal.
Oh yeah!
Let's go, baby!
Woo! Grinding towards season 12. Gotta love it. Good morning. Welcome to the penultimate twisted tripped out backwards Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. Man, I'm so excited. I'll explain why in a minute. First hour presented in part by Invader Coffee. Fuel for the fearless, which is what we are. Fearless. All right. We made some notes in our pre-show meeting, and we're going to let them out here for everyone that has tuned in over the course of the past 11 years. We thank you and we love you. To all the fans that we have gained, lost, and regained because of all the stops and starts and firsts and lasts and all that kind of stuff, thank you. Thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate it. To my crew, the big dog, Shane Lake, Victor Locke, Cole Johnson, everybody that has been a part of this show, thank you all. To my beautiful Dr. K, who looked me in the eye and said, quit talking about your dreams and go get that shit. Thank you, my love. To Shane's Queen Pin, who has been down since day one when Shane and I met officially, and has been one of the craziest asses on the show when she's appeared, just like my beautiful wife. Darling, thank you. To the folks back home in Chicago, where this show started, in my old bedroom at my mother's house, with a mixer, a microphone, a headset, and an idea. And folks tuned in audio and then later video. Thank you for that. There's an old Subway's on Adams, on State and Adams, where I used to do the show some mornings. And there's a Starbucks on the corner of State and Adams, where I basically lived for 2 years getting this off the ground. Thank you for that. To Alison Morran, who unfortunately cannot be here today. She had something come up, but she will be with us on our holiday version of the show tomorrow. Man, Allie, when I met Allie, I was in Starbucks. We were in a Starbucks, getting ready to put her on the air on my old afternoon show. Yeah, guess what happened? Technical difficulties. Been laughing about that for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think thank you would be good enough words for her, just like with Jody. You know, just, I'm going to cry. Just saying thank you to all the people that have been here over the past 11 years. I don't think that's enough. And to Droid, who has been on my ass about being consistent, just like everybody else, who has been begging me for play-by-play chances, who will now get them. Droid brother, wherever you are, I think you're working today. I assume you're working today, man.
Yeah, I think it's a Culver.
Thank you for showing up into my life like one of my kids and saying, look, you're either going to deal with me or you're going to get rid of me. How did he say that? By making me laugh my head off, by throwing zingers at me. And Shane, I got to thank you for that connection, because there are some days that Droid steps in and doesn't even ask, and I later wind up thanking him for that. On days where I have been like totally under the weather and I try to get out of bed to do a game and my wife holds me down and says, you're not feeling good. And that's when Droid steps in. That's when Victor steps in. I thank you guys for that. To the fellow who brought Shane and I together 11 years ago, the Dark Knight himself, LaShawn Encarnacion. Brother, we miss you. We love you. LaShawn was a part of my show for a year until we unfortunately lost him. He had an idea about a racing connection, which brought us Shane Lake. After I had Shane on the show, I began to ask him, would you like to be a permanent part of the show? And before I can complete my question, Shane said, I'm all for it. I informed the Dark Knight about it, and he just had a quiet smile and said, told you. LaShawn, you're one of the biggest reasons we are here, getting ready to celebrate season 12 on Monday. To say that you are a big part of the show would be a horrible understatement. And thank you for that. To the folks who stuck with me when I lived in LaPorte, Indiana, who kept backing me up, pushing me forward. The folks in Chicago, in Michigan City, in Dayton, Ohio, where I lived for a time, up in Minnesota, all the way up in Minnesota, where I lived for a time. Some of which I still keep in contact with. To the folks at Chicago State who allowed me this crazy chance to get started. Who allowed me the opportunity in 1995 to call my first game. Thank you all. To Craig Hodges, former Bulls sharpshooter, who we were close with before they let him go for 2 years, who basically told us to go for it. Thank you, Mr. Hodges. Thank you for all of that. To Cole Johnson, who served and still serves as the main executive producer of the show. The man, no myth, all legend. Not just because of his comedic timing, but because of his knowledge, because of his friendship. He was the first person I called when I had doubts, when people started talking about my marriage to Jody, my pending marriage to Jody at the time. I will never forget this call. He asked me 3 questions. Does she make you laugh? Does she make you happy? And is she there for you? And I said yes to all 3. And basically he said, then fuck everybody else. I can't tell you how emboldened that made me. And how proud I am of you, Cole Johnson. To our buddy Wise El Jefe, who said, stop the cap, and made us crack up for 10 minutes. Wise El Jefe, who I met during the COVID year. Been like this ever since. Who's building an empire of his own. Proud of you, brother. Very, very proud of you. And don't you stop kicking ass either. To Chris Bass, my homie from Chicago since 2006. No myth, the man, no myth, all legend there also. Who said one of the most infamous lines ever.
What in the all types of blue hell?
That spread like wildfire to a whole lot of places.
AB Media now uses it. I use it on my other show. Man, Bass, I'll tell you what, even though we couldn't finish your segment here, and even though you taught me about being responsible, I still feel connected to you, and so does the rest of this crew. I blame myself for losing that connection and losing your segment. But at the same time, you reined in a lot for me. Hell, he gave me the nickname Rain Man because of my sports knowledge, a lot of which I still have to reacquire after surgery. You pushed me, Bass. You pushed me to do better and be better. Everybody I named pushed me to do better and to be better. Thank you for that. There's a fellow named Michael Lyle, who is now in Denver, Colorado. At the time I met him, he was in Connecticut. The Jersey-born man has been one of the best for me. And he's saying the same thing everybody else said to me. Don't you quit. Don't you ever, ever quit. No, I'm not going to. Damn it, I promise all of y'all. I'm not going to quit. They will have to kill me to beat me. I'll borrow from former Northwestern head coach Randy Walker. And I speak this for my entire crew. You will have to kill us to beat us. All right? I've said it before and I'll say it again. You will have to kill us to beat us, because there is so much more that we're going to do in season 12 and beyond. I can't thank everybody enough for everything that they did. Every time they provided inspiration, every time they provided a chance to show off. And there's one fellow I need to mention by the name of Joshua Jackson, who is now at Savannah State University. JJ and I had a lot of late night calls. where both he wanted to quit and so did I. But we both made it up in our minds. Can't do that, won't do that. Can't ever do that. So Joshua, the man who told me about Ted Wright Stadium and he affectionately named Dead Wrong Stadium, the man who has been my right hand for most of my crazy ass road trips when I covered Trinity International. My brother, I love you. I love your successes. And we are always here for you. Period. There's a fellow that's going to join us in hour 2 in place of Allie by the name of Chris Dietz. When I was living in Dayton, Ohio, Dietz showed up out of nowhere and basically said, I'm going to be a part of your show and you're never going to forget me. I burst him off for all of 30 seconds. Then I decided to take the chance one afternoon when I woke up from a nap. I recorded an interview with him and he's going to be celebrating his 9th year with us. I mean, some of these people that we've had on the show have been, the regular ones have been legendary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, it's hard to believe that I've had an 11-year friendship with legendary announcer Bill Schoenig, who just recently retired as the voice of the Spurs. I can't believe that I've had former Super Bowl champion Lee Woodall on here, 2-time Super Bowl champion Gary Reasons. And do I plan to have them back? You better fucking believe it. All the networks that have picked us up, put us down, picked us back up again, and the ones who stayed. Thank you all. To our brother Sick Diggy from Norway, who comes up with the craziest ads we will ever read on the air. And when I say crazy, I mean just that. But you know something? It adds a lot to the show. It gets the wheels a turning. And Sick Diggy's always been one of the ones where we have a slow show. He'll throw something out of nowhere. It sticks, and we're back at 100 miles an hour. While I'm throwing flowers, how about a couple of flowers to the one and only Rising Rhino, one of the football authoritarians that I watch on YouTube very faithfully. No matter if it's the CFL, the NFL, United Football League, Arena Football, no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. NHL hockey with this Colorado Avalanche. He's one of the ones where I can affectionately say he doesn't care about what happens. He knows what he wants to do, and he's going after it. Rhino, thank you for giving me that attitude back. I cannot thank you enough. And it's seeped into my coverage of the Indiana Fever. I was talking with the boys during pre-show, and I can honestly say that I ran out of fucks to give about 2.5 years ago. And finally diving in head first, feet first, whatever the hell you want to call it, to getting all this together. Man, there's so many other people I can thank, but we do have a time limit here.
Yeah, screw it.
Yeah, you're right. Screw it. The next 5 people I'm going to name are very, very dear to me and very important to me. Jody, Sonia, Dakota, Carmen, and Cheyenne. My wife and my children. When Jody popped into my life, I'd all but given up on life. I was at the end. I was at the edge of that mountain. I was at the edge of that cliff, ready to step off and never come back. Jody raced the clock and saved my life because I was going to end it. July 18th, 2018. I was sicker than a dog. It was raining. And I decided at that time, and I know I'm getting very personal, but fuck it at this point. If y'all don't know the story, here it is. July 18th, 2018. I hadn't talked to Victor. I hadn't talked to Cole. I hadn't even talked to the dog. I haven't talked to anybody. That was my final fuck it point. I was done. I was going to step off that cliff, eliminate myself from the world, and not come back. And then, thanks to a message I got from a very pretty lady, she pulled me back from that cliff. Just in the nick of time. And then slowly I started meeting the folks who were important to her, who became my children. Getting to know them has been a process. I can tell you that. Because my kids have been through so much before I showed up. Why does this make me cry a lot? Because they mean so much to me. I mean, hell, I was in the hospital just after cancer surgery. I talked to Cheyenne via FaceTime and cried. Cheyenne's next question to me was, do you need me to come up there? I didn't hesitate. I said yes. She was out in Los Angeles. She was in Indianapolis the next morning. She caught a red eye from Los Angeles up to Indianapolis and spent the week with me while I was in ICU and later in my own room. Jody came by after work every day. Jody is the one who got this started. My Dr. K got this whole thing started. When we were told at Duke University Hospital to just pack it in, Jody's spirit said, She got the whole process started, man. That's how I met my oncologist, and then that's how I met the surgeon who saved my life, Dr. Attila Nakib. I'll never forget him. I looked him in the eye and I said, can you get this motherfucker or not? And he looked me back in the eye with wife in tow and said, we'll get this sumbitch. And he did. I don't have cancer anymore. I may have lost a few other things in the process, but the one thing I will never lose is my nerve. Even on days when I don't think I have it, I got people in my life, including on this crew, that will give it back to me.
All good, boss.
To say thank you would be a horrible understatement. To my buddies, AB Media 83 out in Indianapolis, the master teacher himself, BGS Edmore, y'all have seen him here throwing questions and throwing his shit out there that has us cracking up laughing. BGS is the man, there's no myth to this. All right? I got to throw him some flowers because there will be some days that I want to go out and get lunch for Jody and I can't. I shoot him a text and the next thing I know, there's a Cash App waiting for me. The same with Victor. These are guys that I trust with my life. And of course, y'all don't know the funniest sound ever. BGS is the one who gave us this.
Now that's some bullshit.
He's the one that gave us that. And he gave me some sound advice on what to cover, how to make my standalone videos, which I'm going to start today as soon as this pool full of tears dries up and I get some more tea in me. But they all have said the same thing. In the immortal words of Jim Valvano, don't give up. Don't ever give up. Giving up is not an option. And Eminem said it best as I couple it with him. Success is my only option. Failure is not. And I apply that to the whole team. The whole team that has stuck with me and this crazy ass idea for 11 years. We are going into season 12 on Monday. Why did I change it to Monday instead of the original air date October 1st? Because Monday comes right after the holiday. We can expand and go right into football. All the preparation we're going to do for football this year, college and pro. We can get Dietz involved in this. Got WNBA on the docket. It's a perfect reset button. That's why the first Monday in July every year we'll start a new season. Not just of Snowman in the Morning, but of Snowman Multimedia, which is celebrating season 30. 30 years. Man. There's a couple more people since I got permission from the guys. Let me thank somebody else again here. All right. Let me once again thank the master teacher who I only met a short time ago, but has become so important in my life, become such a good brother and a good friend, who threw us the line of, now that's some bullshit, and the explanation with it. He has popped on our show. He has popped on my play-by-plays. He has given me such direction on which way to go. And BGS, brother, we love you. From Indiana to California. I can't tell you enough how much you mean to me and my crew going forward. We love you, brother. I can't say enough how much everybody means to me. I thank my family. I thank most of my friends. But there is one friend that I must thank before we go to break. And his name is James McCallum. When I met Mr. McCallum, I was a young buck. We were both at St. Margaret of Scotland School. Oh boy, the memories we can share from that. But as much as James and I picked on each other, James was one of the originals that told me not to give a shit about what other people think when it comes to me being a play-by-play announcer. It happened when the Bears were playing the Lions. I had a black and white TV set. All the other guys that came over to my parents' house were in a corner. And I was glued to the television calling the game. And then James spoke up and said, we have two options. Listen to the idiots on the television or listen to our own in-house announcer. And since then, James has been so encouraging to me. Every time he talked to me, how's it going? How's the business going? Are you still chasing your dreams? You better chase your dreams. James, 4.5 decades later, here we are. I cannot tell you how much your brotherhood, fuck a friendship, I cannot tell you how much your brotherhood means to me. And here's to another 5 or 6 decades after that, my friend. So with all that being said, this may not be a glass, but I raise this to everyone that has been faithful to me, the show, and the company, that has been to it and through it with me and with us, especially when going through cancer, when going through my toe amputations and everything. And everybody just encouraged me. I would not be here without you guys. And that's the God's honest truth. I love you all. Now let's take a deep breath and get into some hijinks. Back after this.
Yeah, we got a lot coming up. The All-Star Game lineups were announced. And we had some history made in Los Angeles.
We will get to all of that in a moment.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
We were always hippies at heart, I guess, and that was one way that we showed it before we became full-time RVers.
Yeah, we were definitely living small and minimally.
What made us decide to go with Battleborn was everyone from their top leadership team down to their service department helped us so much the whole way through. Our relationship with Battleborn is so much more than business. And me and Dennis love to jam together. We played together multiple times, and that's been an awesome transition. Be able to learn so much more about the business. Also, just make some awesome friends.
They said the W couldn't catch fire, but in Indiana, the fever's already burning. Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, Full Court Fever tips off on Snowman Multimedia. All in on the WNBA. All eyes on the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell. The next dynasty in the making? Join Brian Snow for the deep dives, the hot takes, and the real stories from the hardwood. Full Court Fever, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, only on Snowman Multimedia. This is Fever Basketball.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
the way that this season has been going, anything is possible.
The women's college game,
and how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
The WNBA,
AJ Williams stood at 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmaker's blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Because we take this job so serious.
All of it, between 2 people and 4 nostrils, all of it was gone. What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Yes, we're here. and oh
yes,
man,
Joel,
the folks are, yeah, Joel. I mean, here, while I'm throwing flowers to Cole Johnson, let me just show y'all some of the shit he came up with that we took and ran with. This started it, and I don't have to say anything.
Yeah. And I remember when that first came in, I didn't even see the tweet. I just saw that terrible 2-year-old tantrum face by LeBron.
Yes.
And I just see in bold letters, yes, LeBron, it is you.
It took me a minute to look at that tweet also. Then we took it and ran with it because this showed up, and then this showed up, and then this showed up, and one of Victor's all-time favorites, this showed up.
Yep.
And then we put a spin on it with this.
Yep.
This.
Yep.
This.
Mustard!
This.
Yep.
And of course, this.
Oh God.
That's Cole's fault.
Yes.
But then say it with me, gentlemen. Yes, Aaron. It is you.
You $100 roll of quarters.
And then Cole had a segment on his show that I asked to borrow to bring to mind. Y'all know very well. That's as far as it goes. Then this came with it.
What you mean?
Then this came with it. And then Victor sent me a commercial.
And it's now
that nearly had me crash.
And now.
And then my dumbass coupled it by challenging the EP of all EPs to visualize it. And as I love to say on this program, and then
this happened.
This happened.
Not that.
Not that.
This happened.
Of Bronx sexual stupidity is brought to you by Hooked on Bronx. When you start talking like an idiotic bronzexual, Hooked on Bronx can set you right. Call 1-800-YO-KANG. Real LJPM, now approve all this.
Paid for by the city filth.
I don't know how.
Neither do I.
Then Chris Bass opened his mouth.
Oh, no.
And then this happened.
So I realized that I think, even though it's not advertised,
right,
there has to be a place for stupid people. We don't know because we're not stupid, so we don't know anything about it. It's like a secret club society.
Oh my gosh.
So I come to the conclusion that he graduated from SU, stupid university. Yeah, and all the stupid ass letters that go along with graduating, high honors of being stupid. I can't do no more, man.
Vámonos, dominos, vámonos. Stupid university, where everyone graduates magna cum stupid.
Magna cum stupid. He's the same guy that produced this.
You're fired.
This. This. This.
Game 7.
Victor, you're going to hate me for my next two buttons.
Go ahead.
He found this.
This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation.
And of course,
go ahead.
That's as far as I'll go.
Tam.
And I was there when Cole put that out there.
Yes, you were.
I was on here.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking something basketball related.
And then he hit us with that. We were talking about a totally different sport. And then that happened.
Yep.
He also, some of the clips that he found, which include this one This one. This one.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
And it took off from there with this.
Bitch, please.
This.
Bitch, are you for real?
This.
You for real?
This one. And while we're on a roll, this one. This one.
I'm getting too old for this.
This one. This one. Let's see. Somehow, some way, one morning, he hit me with this one.
Why the you lying? Why?
This one. And then Ryan McCoffey opened his big ass mouth. And then this happened. And then the one for Victor.
Out of absolute nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Out of
And
nowhere.
then this happened.
Delete! 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 Delete!
That's
This
actually after
one.
Jam.
This one.
We gotta pause that.
And that caused a delete. That caused a delete.
This one.
Stop the cap.
And of course, this one. But then the ultimate.
Hell no! To the no, no, no! Hell to the no! Hell to the no! To the no, no, no!
And all that creativity led us to create some of our own clips. Like this.
You fool!
This.
Booty!
What else we got up here? This one.
Stop it. Get some help.
This one.
No.
This one.
What?
This one.
What?
This one.
Oh, hell no!
This one. And then Shane's crazy ass took control and came up with this one. Then to go even further, Shane's crazy ass came up with this one. This one.
Shut up, bitch!
And then he opened his mouth.
Oh no.
And then I got started. Y'all remember the first time Shane called anarchy on a game?
Yep.
And then 30 seconds later, I had this.
By God, that's Austin's music.
And then, look, I came up with the flag.
Yes.
Yep. I came up with the flag. I already had the flag rolling.
It's gonna be that.
And then Shane opened his big ass mouth and said, "You ought to have Austin's music with it." Why did he say that to me?
Like he was talking about bones again.
Fuck you, Victor.
Oh,
I
no.
told you no one should be talking about buns, especially Shane, since he gets no buns anyway. Man,
Get out of here, old cockhead.
At least I have a cockhead. What do you have?
Here we go.
I'm
again.
sorry, folks. That joke was sitting right there, okay?
You asshole!
I think we need a break. Because for the next 4 minutes, Shane's going to recover, and I'm not.
Right.
Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light-optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete, 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 delete.
Join these 2 football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Y'all okay?
No.
I didn't think so. Welcome back,
Hell
y'all.
no to the no.
Hell no to the no. Hell.
AB Media joins us from Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you for that.
Shut up, bitch. Oh my God.
You big dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big cold-blooded dummy. You big dummy. See what you did? Oh, no, you big dummy.
Oh no, you big dummy.
After the lamp crashed.
Yes. After the lamp crash. Oh no, you big dummy.
Oh, gosh almighty. See, and as I say that, Rising Rhino is getting ready for 4th of July weekend in the CFL with his alternative play-by-play call of the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Toronto Argonauts. AB Media with a question. Your thoughts on Angel Reese getting snubbed? Not really. From the All-Star team. Good. She hasn't played like an All-Star, nor she deserves to be an All-Star. End of story.
Well, that's a nice little transition because talking about All-Star games,
yeah,
the American League and National League have both announced.
Wait. What'd you say, Victor?
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
She had some good games. Shit.
Some.
It's better than none.
True.
Give me this sumbitch.
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no.
So before we completely lose our
All
shit
right.
today,
The All-Star starters have been announced for the Major League Baseball All-Star game.
Yep.
If my memory is correct, it is in Atlanta.
yes, it is. And the American League All-Star starters go like this. Big Dumper himself, Cal Raleigh, will be behind the plate. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at first. Gleyber Torres at second. Jose Ramirez third. Shortstop, Athletics rookie Jacob Wilson. Your outfield will be Aaron Judge, Javi Baez, and Riley Green. And the DH will be Ryan O'Hearn from the Orioles.
Good stuff.
Your National
Good
League
stuff.
All-Star Game starters. Catcher Will Smith. First base Frederick Freeman. Second base, it's going to be a Ketel Marte will be there.
Love it.
Manny Machado at third. Frankie Lindor at short. And your outfield will be Acuna Jr., PCA, Kyle Tucker, and your DH, who else would it be? Ohtani-san.
Ohtani-san.
Mm-hmm.
What if Ohtani-san wound up doing both like he did a few years ago before his injury?
Well, the full rosters, including the pitchers, will be announced Sunday at 5 on the big mothership.
That's the
itself.
day. That's not the last Sunday. It's next Sunday. That's the last Sunday before the All-Star break. Oh, here's another fellow I need to shout out. Jason Joseph.
JJ.
AKA play-by-play with JJ, who is half my age, but twice as smart. See, JJ loves fucking with me, but he'll throw some things at me saying, I bet you can't do this, and then he makes me prove it. He'll say he covers everything Philadelphia, Flyers, Eagles, 76ers, dear God help us, Phillies, and he's doing great with his and it's his Phillies coverage that has enhanced his channel. Jason was the first one to put in my head, why don't you cover the Fever for the full season? Which last year I had planned on, especially after they drafted Caitlin Clark, but my body had other ideas. Now that I'm doing it all this year, Victor, and my wife are all just sitting back here going, told you. And I can't say shut up because they did tell me.
I mean, look at the numbers we had when we did the women's NCAA tournament.
Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God.
That told you right there the market was ripe, dude.
The Big Ten championship alone.
Yeah.
The Big Ten the Big Ten championship alone drew us 5,400.
Yeah.
Okay. Matter of fact, while I'm taking a look, while we are taking a look, and we're about to approach the top of the second hour, while I am thinking about it, and I think I'm going to be working on becoming a real estate investor too, while I'm adding to my list of titles, which also includes a men's mental wellness coach. 5,300 for Nebraska and Iowa. That was the Big Ten championship. 4,100 for West Virginia, Iowa. That was the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Fever at Dallas last year, 3,900 there. And then 3 this year versus Atlanta, New York, and Atlanta, 34, 33, and 3,300.
Mm-hmm.
3,100. Y'all ready for this? 3,100. I don't know how in the Vita Blue, yellow bellied, red blooded hell I drew 3,100 for Penn State and Boise State in the playoff. And I was on the air 4 hours that night.
Well, speaking of other things to handle before we end up going into hour 2 and Dietz and all of us end up talking college football and everything else for about an hour, I believe we do have a scoreboard update in history that happened in Los Angeles.
That indeed we do. I turn it over to Victor.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. You know what time it is. It's time for the Snowman SeatGeek scoreboard update brought to you by SeatGeek. Use the code Snowman for $20 off your first purchase, owing to the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan. Let's get into what happened today that was in Major League Baseball.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
We start off with the Rays beating the Athletics 6-5. The Cardinals unfortunately get blanked by the Pirates 5-0.
Damn it.
The San Diego Padres beat the Phillies 6-4. The Tigers beat down the Nationals 11-2. The Brew Crew beat the Mets 7-2. The Padres 5-1.
Yo, where'd you go?
Hello?
There you are.
Which one did y'all miss?
Last one.
Last one.
Let's see. Brewers beat the Mets 7-2.
There
Phillies
we go.
over the Padres 5-1. Twins over the Marlins 2-1. The Tigers lose to the Nationals 9-4. The Blue Jays beat down the Yankees 11-9.
And now are in sole possession of first place in the AL East.
Can you believe that? Who was the AL wild card I told you about?
Toronto Blue Jays.
And who did I say would win the West?
I believe it.
Who's in front in both divisions? Go on, Victor.
The Reds beat the Red Sox 8-4. The Brew Crew lose to the Mets 7-3 in their second game. The Braves over the Angels 8-3. The Orioles get blanked by the Rangers 6-0. The Cubs pull it out against the Guardians 5-4. Astros beat the Rockies 5-3. The Giants beat the Diamondbacks 6-5. Royals dropped one to the Mariners 3-2, and the White Sox lose to the Dodgers 5-4.
And Kershaw picked up his 3,000th strikeout in that game, joining Verlander and Scherzer as the only active 3,000 strikeout pitchers in MLB.
Congratulations, Clayton Kershaw, who has a nastier curve than Steve Carlton and a nastier fastball with location than Randy Johnson. I know I'm bringing Hall of Famers into this, but Clayton Kershaw, you deserve the platitudes. Go on, Victor.
All right. Today's games look this way, and Dog, I believe you have the matchups for me. Do you not?
Yes, sir. I got them locked and loaded.
All right. Let's start with 11:10 a.m., where the Florida Marlins, the Fish, will be taking on the Minnesota Twins.
You've got the 2-2 David Festa versus the 0-2 Yuri Perez.
The Stros look to continue their winning ways and beat the Rockies again at 2:10 p.m. Who's on the bump for these teams?
It's Brandon Walter for the Astros 1-1 versus the 1-9 Kyle Freeland.
The Motor City Tigers will be taking on the Washington Nationals at Washington. That's at 5:45 p.m. Who's on the bump?
Dietrich Enns for Detroit at 1-0 versus the 6-3 Jake Irvin.
The New York Yankees looking to try and catch a game off for the Blue Jays that they got beat down. Who's on the bump for these teams at 6:07 p.m.?
4-4 Clark Schmidt versus the 7-4 Chris Bassett.
6:10, the New York Mets, which these will be on to talk about them soon, are taking on the Brew Crew again at 6:10 p.m. Who's on the bump?
6-2 Jose Quintana versus the 5-4 David Peterson.
The LA Angels take on the Atlanta Braves in Atlanta at 6:15 p.m. Who's on the bump?
5-5 Jose Soriano versus the 2-5 Bryce Elder.
Cubs look to continue their winning ways as they take on the Guardians at 7:05, and that is in Wrigley Field. Who's got the bump on there?
4-9 Luis L. Ortiz versus the 3-2 Cade Horton.
The Arizona Diamondbacks look to take on them Giants at 8:40 p.m.
Let's go Giants.
It is the 8-3 Robbie Ray versus the 8-5 Brandon Pafat.
Robbie Ray, Giants need you right about now. They're starting to fall off the race in the National League West, but there's still plenty of time for them to come back and get it.
The Seattle Mariners look to continue their winning ways as they try to get another one off the Royals of Kansas City at 9:10 p.m. Who's on the bump?
5-5 Seth Lugo being countered by the 7-4 Brian Woo.
And your 9:10 nightcap sees the Dodgers, the LA Dodgers, that is, taking on the Chicago White Sox. Yep, taking on the Chicago White Sox, and that is in LA. Who's taking the hill for these two teams?
In your nightcap, it is the 1-4 Aaron Savali versus the 4-5 Dustin May.
There's one that you forgot, Victor.
Which one?
I think it's a 3:10 game in Colorado.
No, he got that.
Yeah,
you got the Astros.
Yep.
Do that one again because I missed the matchup.
Okay,
it's 1-1 Brandon Walter versus 1-9 Kyle Freeland.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
That's a 3:10 pitch. We'll have it on the channel. We'll pick it up in progress because I know there's a couple other meetings I have to do with everything that I got going on. But I am proud to also say this. What? Well, not yet. Dog, give me a few minutes if you would and talk about the history that was set last night by Clayton Kershaw.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, last night Kershaw ended up picking up his 3,000th career strikeout, joining again Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer as the only active 3,000 strikeout pitchers, and joining a very short list of lefties, including Randy Johnson, that have 3,000 Ks. And there's only two other pitchers that have actually done it with the same team. So Kershaw ended up doing something that is very rarely seen nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, again, you don't see people sticking with teams all that often unless they're truly loyal to it. I mean, look at Derek Jeter, for instance. He hung around with the Yankees his whole career.
20 years.
I mean, the crazy thing is Kershaw's coming up on 20 years he's been with the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm. That he is. All right. Let's go to halftime really quick. Then we got some cleanup work to do. And then we'll bring in the mighty Chris Dietz. Second hour Snowman in the Morning continues in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
Emergency, please.
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete, 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 delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
The way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
the women's college game,
And how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
the WNBA,
AJ Williams stood at 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmaker's blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony, or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
I haven't done this in a while, but I'm going to do it here. And Victor's been asking for this. A lot of my other fans have been asking for this. My own wife asked, where is this? I think what you all are looking for me to say is, we owe you an ID. This is Snowman in the Morning live.
This is WBWS-DB, Chicago. This is WJKS, Indianapolis, Chicago, and the world.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Thank you, everyone. We mean it, everyone. And soon we'll have KSRN in Phoenix, Arizona, joining us full time. There's a couple of other video networks that want to pick us up. And we thank you. We thank everybody for joining us. And speaking of joining us, I think the penultimate edition, well, not yet. Gotta wait a couple minutes.
Okay.
You know, dear Pittsburgh Steelers,
we do not care
about y'all.
I think that's about a lot of us right about now.
And the Ravens will fail this year. I hate making this joke, but I'm gonna. Why? Because yes, Lamar, it is you. You know what inspired? I'll tell y'all what inspired that real. Hold on. There's a putty tat that's acting a fool here.
Uh-oh.
Get in here, Winnie. Winnie was hanging on the screen. And when I mean she was like,
yes, she was doing Spider-Man.
She was Spider-Maning on the screen. Anyway, you know what inspired the Yes Lamar? I came up with that a Monday after Victor covered a Ravens game where Lamar had a chance to put the game away and not have overtime and didn't do it.
Nope.
And
well, Victor went
completely off.
Because the coaching staff decided, yeah, we have one of the most dangerous running backs in the history of the NFL right now.
Derrick Henry.
But we won't use him because it's got to go through Lamar Jackson.
Don't ask. And when Victor went off about that, I immediately got in the lab before the 49ers game I was scheduled to cover, and I came up with this.
Yeah, because the way he went off, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that turns into a graphic.
Speaking of graphics, and y'all heard me this morning, one of the fellows I thanked in a pool full of tears for sticking with me, he begins his 9th season with us right now.
Passionate.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Dietz.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
I know we're a few days early, but I don't care. But thank you to this fellow who begins his 9th season in association with Snowman in the Morning, the one and only Chris Dietz. How are you, brother? And thanks for being there for us and with us all these years.
One of my brothers with the struggle when it comes to the Cowboys. My brother.
And when it comes to the Mets and the Celtics, given this past year.
Thank you so much, Chris. I truly appreciate you being there for me.
Listen.
Of course. Always. You know, it's always a struggle, you know?
You're not wrong.
Not wrong.
But again, as I said this morning, and now I can say it with him in tow with us, Dietz, you came along and said you'll never forget me and dared me. Chris dared me to put him on the air after I listened to his show and I cracked up for 10 minutes. And he said, I dare you to have me. Well, Chris, I took that dare, and here we are 9 years later. I love you, brother. Thanks for sticking with us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's been a great ride, and anytime I get a chance to do this, it's always fun. So
it is.
But before we get to fun, it's been a wild week.
Yes, it has.
And I have to take some people to task before we get to college football, before we have all that fun. And I'm glad Snowman and Victor are here.
Okay.
All right.
Because unfortunately in my life, I watched Ironheart.
Oh no! Oh God, no! Why?
Why the hell did you do that?
Why?
What?
Because I am- because I am-
just a minute. Before you answer that question, we got to pose this one.
In the all types of blue hell
were you thinking?
Okay.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so because I'm a Marvel fan,
Oh no, he's Borgin again.
Yep.
Dadgummit. Oh, I was afraid of this. Chris,
I'm back.
Okay. Okay, there you go.
All right. The marketing pitch was, and I quote from Whoopi Goldberg on The View.
God.
Ironheart will be a great representation for African Americans into the MCU. This is what she said. A great representation
Say it
of
again.
African Americans.
Wait. We didn't do that. We didn't do that right. We didn't do that right.
Hold on.
And I hate saying this name, but I'll say it anyway. Whoopi Goldberg said, quote,
She said, quote, Ironheart will be a great representation of African American culture into the MCU. This is how she prefaced this when the lead actress, I don't know her name. I don't care. I don't even know the lead actress. I don't know who played Ironheart, but whatever. But I just want you to, I only bring that quote up because I want you to remember those words. Great representation. Now, we have with us on this program two gentlemen who are African American.
Yeah.
And I believe both of you, I believe, Victor, you're in Chicago, right?
Yes, I am.
I am from Chicago.
And
That's
no, man, I believe you've lived in Chicago. You've lived in Chicago before.
Chicago's my hometown.
Okay, so we have two African Americans that grew up in Chicago. The only reason I bring that up is because Riri Williams is an African American from Chicago.
Dominique Thorne.
Now, the entire premise of this show is that she doesn't have enough money. She can't, because she's such a genius, she has so many plans, but she can't do anything because she doesn't have enough money.
I know what you're going.
Fair enough.
I know you're going.
Fair enough. We all want money, right? We all want money. We all want to be able to get money. We all want to be able to do stuff. But here's the deal. She goes home to Chicago with after being at MIT, she goes home to Chicago. So she's been at MIT. She has had college education.
Yep, at one of the most prestigious schools.
The only now, Victor, have you ever made $1 billion in your life?
No, I would like to, but no.
Snowman, have you ever had $1 billion in your life?
That's a goal, but I haven't reached it yet.
So you guys are from Chicago, African Americans from Chicago. Now, I only bring that. I will ask this question. At what point did you guys turn to crime to get your money?
Never,
right? Right?
Can't spend it.
Well,
Riri
Riri Williams, the genius hero that is Riri Williams, decides the only way she can make money is to become a criminal and a thief. This is the plot of the show.
Let me just say
we're
this.
Supposed to cheer her for that.
Let me just say this, and I say this proudly, and I know Victor echoes the sentiment. There's no way I would have turned to crime to make $1 billion, and I have a very good reason. His name is William Otis Snow Jr.
Yep.
My father, a former sergeant.
Because you would have got a grand beat down as soon as you saw him in heaven.
He would have put his foot dead up my ass.
Exactly. Here's the crazy thing.
This is the problem. This is the problem. This is the exact thing, and this is what got me so upset about this. And to rant about this, these Hollywood people think a representation of black people is the only method they have to make money is commit crime.
Yeah.
That's what they think of you. That's what they're telling you is your representation. Is that
so many people
no
and
matter
so many
how
people have
good
said
you
that.
are, you have to become a criminal.
Here's the crazy thing, right? So I remember them saying, well, one of the things is that she didn't have like the resources, like say, she didn't have the resources that like Tony Stark had. Like, you'll realize that when Tony Stark got hit with that weapon, there was shrapnel in his heart. The only way he could keep himself alive was to create this powerful enough magnet in his chest to keep himself alive. He built that and built the first Iron Man suit in a cave with scrap metal. So he can use things that are just lying there inside a cave to make what he needs, but Ironheart must turn to crime to get anything.
I built this show off of an idea 12 years ago. What did I use? A worn down laptop computer, a small mixer, 2 wired connections, a handheld mic, and if I got lucky to get it, a headset mic when I took the show on the road. And a lot of hard work, as you well know.
It's like, and unfortunately, and these, I really hope you do set in the scene more often. I really hope you start doing set in the scene.
You gotta set the scene. He's got to do set the scene more often. Love that segment.
I miss doing that show. My Hollywood doing just ripping stuff. I was like, I need something good to come. I need something I can praise, something I can enjoy.
Right.
And it's been absolute garbage.
It has. It's garbage.
It's just like, golly.
But,
and it's like,
that was why I wanted to bring this to attention. I don't want to bring it to attention because the show is garbage. The 6 episodes wasn't worth watching. It's not worth watching. But it's worth bringing to attention. This is what these people think of black people.
Yep.
They think representing your hero as a criminal is positive representation. That is the most negative representation you can get.
Yep.
That's the biggest pile of bullshit I ever seen in my life. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What did Diggy just say? The entire
people listening and the people that cut this out. I just want to make this one point because I want this to be crystal clear.
All right.
When Hollywood people try to tell you who to vote for, who to do anything with, I want you to remember this is how they believe. This is what they believe out of you.
It. Yep. Yep. But then they'll find ways
to qualify it. You're a criminal.
They'll find ways to qualify it. Well, you had no resources. Well, you're always being shafted by, by racism and this, that, and the other. You're a low class. And it's like, come on, y'all. And people, unfortunately, mainstream media are going to eat this up because strong black woman from Chicago, and now she's going to take over, this mantle again.
Dear Lord. Why? Just.
You didn't let the cat out, did you?
No. Okay. Banks is right here.
Okay, he was running over there.
Uh-oh.
That's on. You gotta make sure Banks stays in the house.
Oh, I know all about cat. I know all about cat issues.
Yeah.
Trust me, I got enough of my own here.
Banks is trying to get out of the house with a bad foot, and we're just making sure he doesn't. Go on, Victor.
But it's just, again, it's like unfortunate mainstream is going to eat this up. Trust me. Don't be surprised if you looked on Rotten Tomatoes and look at Ironheart, and this thing has like 88 to 89% critic score, and it's like a 4% audience score.
I'm waiting for it.
Don't be surprised.
I'm waiting for it.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
I am waiting for it.
That being said, let's move on from garbage and let's move to college football, because it's almost college football time.
Yes, it is.
Not far away. And you showed us the last time you were here the cover of the Athlon magazine, the Athlon College Football magazine. And who is on the cover of that magazine, Mr. Dietz? I believe his last name is Manning, as in Arch
Manning,
as in the future Heisman Trophy winner.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why do we mention that? Because Chris Dietz has a way of predicting things and they come to fruition.
Right.
Taking a look at that magazine and how they have it placed and how they have the pictures placed on the cover of that magazine, they're announcing to you right now that they're going to give Arch Manning the Heisman Trophy.
Oh, of course. I mean, the media is going to be pushing them. Going to be pushing them hard.
Yep, they are. They're going to be pushing him hard. And meanwhile, as we've seen the last few years, someone else can have an entirely better season, Ashton Genty, and won't even get a sniff of the Heisman. Where have we seen that, Dietz, in our years on air together? Where have we seen that before?
Yeah, I mean we've seen it the last 2 years. You go back to Blake Corum. You go back to Blake Corum having the best season in college football, and now not even being invited. At least they invited Ashton Genty last time. So
and not just Blake Corum. We can go back a couple years before that, as I mentioned the name Brock Bowers.
I mean, the only outside chance of the Heisman Trophy is Jeremiah Smith.
Yes, from Ohio State.
The only reason is because Ohio State doesn't have a known quarterback. So even if their quarterback puts up numbers, it's going to have to go through Jeremiah Smith. So
it's going to have to.
So he's going to get the publicity, even if the quarterback has, outshines everybody and everybody says, oh, well, Jeremiah Smith is going to get the publicity from that. So
Yep.
He's the only one that I could see having it without it being as a non-quarterback. He's the only one that has a chance because he's the star of his team.
Right.
We didn't get a chance to do this because we had technical difficulties, but we have you here now in studio. Who are the quarterbacks that are in line for Heisman Trophy consideration besides Arch Manning? Because we mentioned him already.
Besides Arch, you've got, and I just got to turn to the page here, but off the top of my head, I know Cade Klubnik, and that's going to depend on what Clemson does.
That's Clemson. Mm-hmm.
And if Clemson runs through the ACC like they usually do, he'll definitely be up there on that list.
Yep.
Other guys coming into the season now, we got to take all of this at a high rate, but Garrett Nussmeier at LSU. And that's what makes we'll talk about great games. Great game week 1, LSU versus Clemson. It's going to be it's going to get overshadowed by Ohio State, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll talk about it more as we get closer to the season. That LSU Clemson game is probably more important than Texas Ohio State.
And the reason being?
Reason being, LSU and Clemson, one of those teams, whoever wins that game has to step up. Whoever loses that game is in serious trouble.
Yeah.
If their national championship
Texas,
Whoever loses the LSU, where are they playing? Where is that game being played? LSU Clemson. Where and when? Because that may be a bonus game for us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that game it's opening week. It's opening week, and I believe it's in Georgia.
Oh,
I believe it's in the Georgia Dome.
Oh, it's in Atlanta. It's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
I believe it's one of those games. I believe it's one of those games. It's going to be. It's a neutral site game. It's not. It's not going to be.
It's not a. It's not a campus game. It's a neutral site game.
And it's listed as LSU at Clemson, but there's no way they're playing that game on campus.
Right.
That game's got to be in a big stadium.
I'm doing some live research right now. We're gonna find out. Matter of fact, while I do this live research, we'll put a pin in it right there, and we'll continue with that. Let's take a break. When we come back, LSU Clemson's our point of discussion, and why the loser of that game has their national title hopes immediately dashed. Back in a minute.
Boss, I had that. I just got here.
Will you just push the
I
button,
hit it
please?
already, damn it!
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete. Delete!
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
All right, LSU Clemson was our point of discussion before we went to a break. And Dietz, I know we're thinking the same thing, but I want you to voice it out loud. The loser of that game has their national title hopes eliminated. Why is that? Oh, did we lose him?
And there goes the sound again.
No,
Check
it
your
just
mic,
says my
Dietz.
mic. It says I'm
There it
muted.
is.
There we go.
Okay, we got it.
You're
We
good
got
now.
you. We got you.
They're not eliminated. We saw last year you can lose early and be Notre Dame and go on a run.
Yep. Notre Dame.
But they're
wait a minute.
in serious jeopardy. They're in serious
I gotta make a correct. I gotta make a correction. And dog, thank you for pointing this out. This is at Clemson. This is at Death Valley.
Yeah.
This is Memorial Stadium in Clemson,
nationally televised in Death Valley,
which means we have to put it on our broadcast schedule. Son of a bitch.
Well, there's our nightcap before we do Notre Dame Miami the day after.
True. Go on, Dietz.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a big thing. I think that game we'll talk about it much more when we get up there. But I think that game is bigger. I think it's bigger for Clemson than it is for LSU.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And that's just based on the last 4 SEC opponents that Clemson has faced. They are 0-4.
0-4. 2 of those were against Georgia.
Yeah.
Because they lost to Georgia 10-3. I think it was 3 years ago. Fact check me on that, dog, will you? They lost to Georgia.
Then they got steamrolled by Georgia to open the season last year.
And then they got blasted by the Bulldogs. I think it was 3 years ago in Charlotte at Bank of America Stadium. Clemson played Georgia, and Georgia won that game. If dog will fact check me on this, 10-3. It was the only touchdown was a defensive touchdown in that game.
We'll find out.
I believe that my knowledge for that to be true. So we got our nightcap on Snowman Multimedia, folks. So the first weekend is going to be full. Matter of fact, why don't we just go?
You're talking the 2021 game in September?
That's the one. Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina, 10-3 the final. The last
10-3.
time,
yep.
The last time Clemson faced Georgia was in Atlanta, 34-3.
And they got Peter rolled in Atlanta.
Yep.
Okay. Let's just go ahead and mark our schedule. Dog has the notebook. Our broadcast schedule, that is, right now. Because I'm looking at these matchups. Week 0 is August 23rd. I don't think we're going to do a game. You know what? Blake is, because he's got Fresno State and Kansas. And that's from Memorial Stadium in Lawrence. Now, will I couple it with Iowa, Kansas State? Interesting. I just might have to do that. And there's something that ESPN is doing. We'll talk about that in a minute. The big one that the first big one we're gonna do is going to be Saturday, and that of course is Texas Ohio State from Columbus, and then at 7:30 LSU Clemson. I see nothing in the middle to help matters. If you want to look, if we can take a peek at Alabama and Florida State. If we take a look at Alabama and Florida State, pending on what the rankings are, and that is, but looking at the early line, Alabama's favored by 13.5. Yikes!
Yeah, I don't see anything solid. I don't see anything solid in the middle.
I don't think that one's solid with Alabama being favored by 13.5 in that game.
No, I don't see anything really in the
night
middle.
we'll go top and bottom. Top being Texas, Ohio State at noon in the Horseshoe. And Dietz, I'd love to have you for that along for the ride. You know, because I'd love to have the whole crew along for the ride for this, because this is for everybody. Our nightcap, if you'll write this down, dog, will be LSU and Clemson, 7:30 from Death Valley, from Memorial Stadium in Clemson.
I already got them noted.
Sunday, August 31st. Oh, fuck.
I'll ask that question before we go.
Notre Dame.
I got a question.
Notre Dame and Miami.
I got a question before we jump into that.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that, because I feel this way, I don't know if you guys feel this way, do you feel that last year was very muddled in terms of college football because there was so much of the Sanders?
Yes.
And now it's going to be more.
It was more
purely about football.
Listen, it was more of the Pittsburgh Steelers standard is the standard type bullshit through college football last year.
Right.
Am I wrong?
No.
If I'm wrong, tell me.
No, you're not wrong.
No, we talked about it after the playoff. Last year, it felt like the regular season. None of these games were really pumped up as the game of the century or the game of the season. There was none of that.
No.
Oh,
unless anything to do with Colorado.
No. Oh, hell no.
Oh, no. What now?
2 late night possibilities just popped in my face.
Okay.
For what?
August 30th.
Okay, so still week 1.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Hawaii at Arizona. And you ready for the second one? Utah at UCLA.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And I still get a chance to rest before I even think of calling that game. Put an asterisk next to that one, Utah, UCLA. We'll see how that Saturday goes. Sunday, y'all know what's coming. Catholics versus convicts. Notre Dame, Miami in Miami. And then September 1st. Fuck.
9-1.
TCU, North Carolina. Coach
And
E's
TCU
debut in college.
And TCU is the favorite.
By 2.5.
My reaction again. Fuck.
In the ain't that a bitch department.
Thank you.
I got that as a question mark for you.
Thank you. We'll look at week 2 and then we'll close by talking about something ESPN is doing, which is a direct to consumer idea.
Okay.
Because what ESPN is planning to do in August is roll out a platform where if you pay like $29.95 a month, you get access to all their games across all their networks, including ESPN. Because before it was set up through Disney and Hulu that if you purchase Disney Hulu package, you get ESPN Plus. And you still don't get the main games they have on ESPN and ABC.
Yeah,
that's
which
going to change.
What I have with my mom is I have that.
Yep, that's going to change. They're going to change that. Now, quickly looking at week 2, because I'm gonna have to sign off of here in a little bit because my daughter has an interview in a little while. Saturday, September 6th. I already got my Big Ten game.
What's that?
From a place I'm familiar with, Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa. It's the Cy-Hawk Trophy game. Iowa and Iowa State.
Oh, okay.
That's a noon kickoff. Let's see if we can find one in the middle really quick.
Now you know what's gonna be crazy.
What's that?
That's gonna be packed because you know who is probably gonna show up? CC.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably going to show up at that game, and it is going to be a damn nightmare.
Oh fuck, Blake!
Should
I got
show
the
up,
game.
man.
I got Blake's game for week 2.
Okay.
Kansas at Missouri,
Mm.
and that's in Columbia.
Missouri.
That's Blake's game for week 2 since he's got control. That's Blake and Droid's game since they got control of the Big 12. I think I have my first SEC game for week 2.
Okay.
The Mississippi Rebels and the Kentucky Wildcats.
Oh boy.
From Commonwealth Stadium, aka Kroger Field in Lexington. But there's a flip.
There's a flip. Okay.
It could possibly get flipped because that's a 3:30. That's a 3:30 kickoff, just as Kansas and Missouri is.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to a Kansas Missouri game. Yikes!
I've never been there, and I'm scared.
The flip game could be, depending on where they're ranked, Oklahoma State at Oregon.
I was actually just glancing at that game.
Quack, 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 freaking quack.
Quack the fuck quack, right? Victor and I had a team called the Ducks, a baseball team, one morning, and they were saying quack, quack, quack Ducks all day. Victor pulled me aside, and we had a chance to get a break, and Victor just yelled at the top of his lungs, quack, quack the fuck quack.
I actually came in the next game, the next day of that tournament, and I came in with a freaking duck call in my hand.
I recorded one. Okay. 7 p.m. We could go off the board and go Houston at Rice in the Battle of Houston, Texas.
Okay.
And we could.
You mentioned the wrong Oklahoma team, but that
what, Oklahoma State and Oregon?
Yeah.
That's
Oklahoma. Oklahoma hosts Michigan.
Do they really?
Yeah, that's the nightcap at 7:30.
You got Wolverine Sooners.
You know what?
I was looking again. I was just looking at that.
Here's the thing: the Oklahoma Oregon game is 3:30. The nightcap is going to be Oklahoma and Michigan. Let's put it in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it in the book.
See, and JJ knows exactly where I'm going.
And it's at Norman, Oklahoma, and that's a 7:30 kickoff.
All right, I got it for you.
All right, man, do me a favor, dog. Email that stuff to me.
Gotcha.
After I blow this kitchen up sideways while my daughter's on her interview, I want to write and schedule everything out as far as we can.
Okay.
I'll have it for you a little bit later. I was on the phone with a couple of friends, and they're not taking no for an answer.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's all right. Whatever.
Well, you know what?
But you think about what college football's doing. Those first 2 weeks, we get Texas versus Ohio State.
Yep.
And then the very next week, we get Michigan, Oklahoma. And if you know anything about college football,
it's the rival.
You know the rivalry: Texas, Oklahoma, Michigan, Ohio State.
No, Ohio State. Yep.
Yeah.
It's rival versus rival.
And it is.
You take the two rivals of Texas and OSU,
and
you take the two rivals of Michigan and Oklahoma.
And it's leading. And a few weeks down the line, it's going to lead into Texas, Oklahoma.
Yep.
In the Cotton Bowl.
Yep.
And last year, Oklahoma got crucified.
What's the question of the enemy of my enemy is my friend? You know what I'm saying?
I already got my week 3 matchup.
All right, let me get.
I got one of my week 3 matchups. And I think this is going to be the early game on the docket.
All right,
That's
who you
terrifying.
got?
Georgia at Tennessee.
Volunteers versus Bulldogs.
And the Volunteers are looking for a little revenge for the last 2 years.
Oh,
and I'm looking for. Oh, fuck. I got the nightcap.
Uh-oh.
I actually have a choice. And I'll let Chris Dietz make the choice since he's going to ride shotgun with me. The two games I'm looking at as our 7:30 nightcap: Florida at LSU or Texas A&M, God help me, at Notre Dame.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. The reaction said it all.
Irish.
I think we'll put a pin in that until we see week 1.
Fair enough.
Because if Notre Dame beats Miami in convicts versus Catholics, that makes that Texas A&M game huge.
Yes,
it does.
If LSU beats Clemson, that makes the LSU game huge.
Huge.
If one of those teams loses or both of them lose, then both of those games are kind of like, okay, well, what are we watching? What are we watching for?
Yeah, what are we doing? What are we watching here?
You know? So we'll put a pin in that till we see the results of week 1, and then we'll decide which one's more important.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the results of week 1, and then we'll go forward with that. But those are the two games in week 3, and we'll stop there. That I'm looking at as a possible nightcap. In case you all don't know what is coming this season, we're going to be covering not 1, not 2, not 3, but 6 different conferences for football. We're also going to add women's volleyball to the mix. In the NCAA, I think the Northeast Conference is where I'll have access to that, but we'll let you know day and time as we go forward. We got to get out of here. Dietz, thank you very much, brother. We love you. Thank you for being here for your 9th season and to many, many more, my friend.
Of course, guys. Hey, happy 4th of July to everybody. Let's just remember, no Jason Pierre-Pauls. All right. If you're gonna light fireworks, be safe with fireworks.
Please. Yes, please. And I get to see my son tomorrow. Thank you, Dietz. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
You too, man.
Passion.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Dietz.
That's not just a murmur. That's a full-blown fibrillation.
We better get you up out of here. I got some work to do. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. And speaking of Catholics versus convicts, Father O'Cochran and Father O'Shaughnessy sharing the same drinks?
Oh, God.
Sharing the same thoughts?
Oh, God.
In 3 words, that is tomorrow. So long, everybody. Oh, there's one more thing I need to tell you before we get out of here. That conversation with the two fathers will happen tomorrow. And he also wanted me to tell you, Shane, that that Father O'Cockhead joke that you tried to make backfired badly.
How do you figure?
In the name of the Walter Payton, the Michael Jordan, and the Frank Thomas, amen.
Amen.
Oh, and one more thing for Mr. What did Snowman call him? Shane O'Mac here. Yeah, one more thing for Mr. Shane O'Mac. Please quit talking about Bones.
I quit. I quit.
Quit talking about Bones. You look worse than Tuukka Rask with a skirt on or Tony.
Oh my God.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Route.